Brightness now.
முருகேசன் சார்
வெயிட் பண்ணலாமா
சார் 77 ஜாயின் பண்ணிருக்காங்க இது வரைக்கும்.
அதான் சார் ஒரு 5 மினிட் பாருங்க சார் 100 தான் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன் சார். ஒரு 5 மினிட்ஸ் வெயிட் பண்ணலாம். 5 மினிட்ஸ் வெயிட் பண்ணலாம். 5 மினிட்ஸ் வெயிட் பண்ணலாமா? ஓகே 5:10 பார்க்கலாம் சார். 100 வந்துச்சுன்னா ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடலாம். ஹலோ ஹலோ
ஹலோ
ஹலோ சொல்லுங்க மேடம். இல்ல மேடம் ஒரு 5 மினிட்ஸ் வெயிட் பண்ணலாம் மேடம்.
ஓகேங்க சார் ஓகேங்க சார்.
பட் 100 to 77 ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம்.
ஓகே ஓகே
ஓகே தேங்க்யூ மேடம். நிறைய சிவமுருகன்
சார்
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 91 ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண கரெக்டா இருக்குமா?
சார் 5:12 ஆகுது. இன்னொரு
ஸ்டார்ட் சொல்லுங்க.
ஓகே சார், ஒரு 3 minutes 5:15 ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடுவோம் சார்.
சரி சார், சரி சார். ஓகே சார், தேங்க்யூ.
आपको गाना ही सुना दो यार।
சார் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடலாங்களா சார்?
ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம் சார். ராதிகா மேடம் பிரின்சிபால் சொல்லிக்குவாங்க.
மேடம்
ஓகே சார்.
ராதிகா மேடம்
ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க.
Okay, sir.
ராதிகா மேடம்.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Very good evening to all the dignitaries, heads of the departments, IQAC coordinators, faculty members and other participants from Pachaiyappa College and other Pachaiyappa Trust colleges, from various other institutions of Tamil Nadu and other states. With the blessings of God Almighty and a great philanthropist Vallal Pachaiyappa, and with a great pleasure and honor to invite all of you for the national webinar on an awareness on NAAC assessment and accreditation in higher education. Providing quality education is one of our goals of national development. The words assessment and accreditation is associated with the quality of higher education. In the current scenario, with respect to quality of education offered by higher educational institutions like universities, autonomous and affiliated colleges in our country are assessed and accredited by the National Assessment and Accreditation Council using a well-framed set of questionnaires as matrices under various quality indicators and criteria. For better understanding of the new guidelines released by the NAAC, we are all assembled here to listen invited lecture from an expert, Professor Radhika ma'am, guest of honor, who is expertise in the NAAC guidelines and its processes. With all your kind permission, now I would like to invite Professor S. Murugesan, Associate Professor and Deputy Head of PG and Research Department of Botany, Pachaiyappa College, and Organizing Secretary of today's webinar to welcome the gathering. Please, sir.
Okay. Good evening, one and all. Respected principal in charge, respected colleagues, respected resource persons of today's webinar, Dr. Radhika, dear registered participants, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening to all of you. The accreditation and the re-accreditation of an institution by the NAAC of the UGC is an important aspect in the academic growth of that institution. Sivamurugan, sir, meet பண்ணுங்க sir. Voice nice யா இருக்கு, meet பண்ணுங்க. Okay, thank you. In tune with the advancements in education, technology and administration globally, the institutions have to gear up with themselves to stay in the race for academic prominence. In other words, institution must see that it matches at least the national standards set by the UGC to excel themselves. In this contest, the NAAC has come up with several radical changes to make sure that an institution consistently performs in several academic dimensions. Hence, the NAAC has modified its original scheme of accreditation and has now come with a totally new proposal for the institution to adhere to. Hence, in recent times, it has become necessary to take the expert advice to make the application for the accreditation and the re-accreditation in a proper manner. It is in this good intention that this webinar has been arranged. In this contest, I am glad to welcome all the stakeholders and the participants to make a good use of this webinar. I thank the IQAC of Pachaiyappa College, Chennai for organizing a wonderful meeting of this kind, which is the need of the day. I once again welcome all of you to this webinar, and I am sure you will enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your warm welcoming words and the introduction of the theme of today's webinar. Now, on behalf of IQAC team, I would like to invite Professor Srijayanti ma'am, Principal in Charge, Pachaiyappa College, and convener of today's webinar to deliver the inaugural address. Please, madam.
Good evening. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming you all for this webinar organized by IQAC of Pachaiyappa College, Chennai, entitled An Awareness on NAAC Assessment and Accreditation in Higher Education. I welcome all the head of the departments, faculty members, and administrative staff of Pachaiyappa College who are present here to attend this webinar. Pachaiyappa College is one of the oldest institutions in India with a history of spanning over 179 years. As a matter of known fact, this prestigious institution has produced several well-known names in all fields. As all of us know, NAAC review is essential as it determines the quality of the institute in terms of education, faculty, research, and infrastructure. It also gives confidence to the students that the institution is credible and also provides them with all needed services. Our college is preparing itself for the third cycle of NAAC visit, and now with changing pattern in the NAAC system, it is important that we are all well acquainted with the latest requirements. As there is a scrutiny of the entire institution, several segments have to be understood for a successful outcome. Hence, this webinar will prove useful in creating awareness on NAAC accreditation process. I would like to thank Dr. D. Radhika, Head of the Department of Zoology, V.O. Chidambaram College, Thuthukudi, for sparing us precious time in enlightening us about the processes involved. Thank you, madam. I appreciate the participants for showing keen interest in updating their knowledge about NAAC. I would like to thank Dr. S. Murugesan, Organizing Secretary, and the team for the successful conduct of this webinar within a short span of time. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for your inspiring words. And before we move on to inviting the guest, I would like to give a note to our participants. Please post your questions in Zoom chat box and YouTube chat box. It will be raised to our guest, and at the end of the session only we will post the feedback link. To begin our session, now I would like to request Professor Murugesan, Organizing Secretary, to chair the session and introduce our speaker, Professor D. Radhika ma'am.
Good evening, one and all. I would like to brief you about the resource person, Dr. Radhika. The resource person of the today's webinar, Dr. Radhika, currently works as an associate professor and head of the Department of Zoology at the V.O. Chidambaram College, Thuthukudi. She is an experienced person having passed the MSc degree from Manoramaniam Sundaram University with a gold medal. She obtained a PhD from Fisheries College and Research Institute, Thuthukudi. Dr. Radhika has a keen interest in research. She is an expert in the field of marine pharmacology and microbiology. She has successfully completed 4 research projects funded by DST, ICMR, and UGC. She has published 3 books and 2 book chapters. She has more than 25 peer-reviewed papers to her credit, both in national and international journals. She has so far successfully guided 4 PhD scholars. She has submitted 1 database. She has organized 5 seminars, 8 symposia, 12 workshops, and 1 reference course. She has presented more than 20 papers in national and international symposia. She is acting as a reviewer for many international journals. She has received Best Paper Awards for her papers presented at the national and international conferences. She has acted as a president of MHRD IAC. She has acted as a coordinator UGC Stride. She is serving as a NAAC steering committee member and assistant coordinator in IQAC. She has initiated more than 12 programs as IQAC assistant coordinator. She has received the schemes under UGC, Pramas, and UGC Stride. She has acted as a chairperson in national and international conferences, and she also acted as a resource person in various institutions. She has organized a young student scientist program. She is a member of 9 professional associations. We are highly privileged, madam, to have you in our midst for today's webinar. Thank you. Now I invite Dr. Radhika to deliver the lecture.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the nice introduction. And first of all, I would like to register my sincere thanks to the management of Pachaiyappa College, the principal, Sri Jayanti ma'am, the co-convener, Shiva Murugan, and the organizing secretary and my good friend, Dr. Murugesan sir. I thank all of you for inviting me to deliver this lecture in the webinar on RAC, on an awareness to be created on NAAC. Thank you so much. And I think Vivo Chidambaram College is also a very traditional institution, and Pachaiyappa College is always known for its great legacy. And so it is indeed a great privilege for me to be addressing staff members from Pachaiyappa College. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to share my presentation, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Proceed.
So it's visible, sir?
Yes, madam. Please go ahead.
Okay, the audio is clear, sir?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, so I am Dr. Radhika from Vivo Chidambaram College, and we are a mentor institution. We are mentoring about 5 colleges under the UGC Paramash scheme for NAAC for those non-accredited colleges. So this is a UGC sponsored scheme for making the non-accredited colleges get accreditation before 2023. So we have been working along with 5 other colleges for the past 1 year. And today I'm greatly happy to be amongst you to give you an overview on the NAAC assessment and accreditation process, and that too in the new RAF reforms. The new framework which has been framed is completely different from what the NAAC had in its earlier process. And so I just framed my talk into a small gist of the entire 7 criteria. And I think it's a very vast area of covering 7 criteria in one webinar. So I have highlighted a few points which I think will be very useful for you. So going into the assessment and accreditation process. So why you need to go into this assessment and accreditation process is that not only for the sake of NAAC or getting a grade or anything like that, but the entire the college will raise to the next level. So that is the basic concept involved. So we can know our strength, we can identify what are the areas we need to concentrate on, and also today it is a need for getting a NAAC grade or a NIRF ranking to apply for any projects. So if only you need to have go in for any applying projects for financial assistance, anything for research or for any other sort, also you need to have a good grade and a good ranking. And also to introduce innovative and modern pedagogy methods. Teaching methods are changing. The chalk and talk method is being overtaken by all the ICT tools. And so to get introduced to all these schemes and all these methodology, to update ourselves, we can say, and also to showcase our college to the parents, to the employers, to the institutions around us, and to the industries. So today, when we are talking about teaching for the students, before in the past, if you see, it was only teaching. Now, when a student enters into the college, you need to follow him up to after he gets his degree, whether he gets placement or what is the higher studies he is going into. So everything is to be taken into account. So for all this, an assessment of ourselves and the upgradation of our standards is very, very important, and that's the need for this accreditation process. So the actual system, I'm just giving an overview of how the system is. So this system combines two types of assessment. One process is the evaluation, that is about 70%, and that is being done by it is a system generated evaluation that is done by third party, you say third party validation. And only 30% is being done by the peer team visit. So earlier in our other NAAC cycles, you are going into the third cycle, I believe. So the first two cycles, so all of us, what we did was when the peer team visit was entering into the college, we had all the data getting ready by 3 to 6 months, and whatever we could present to them, we could talk to them by facing them face to face, and so we could explain certain things. So this is the papers we have published, or this is the projects we have taken. But now it is not so. That is the big problem, or that is the thing we have to face. So that is the great hurdle all the colleges are facing, because it is going to be a system generated assessment for about 70%. That means whatever data you're going to submit is going to be assessed by a third party validation system. And before the peer team visits you, your 70% of the marks are fixed. So whatever data you are uploading, it should be very, very accurate, and all the details should be there. Only then it will be taken into account. So the new system, or the new reforms, gives us two types. So 70% of the validation is done by a third party validation, and only 30% is done by the peer team visit. So it actually consists of 4 stages. First part is the IIQA, Institutional Information for Quality Assessment. This is, you will have to submit to the NAAC, and they verify it, whatever details of your institution, whether you have given it correctly, and you get a message, and only after that you are allowed to submit your SSR. So the SSR should be prepared well beforehand, before you submit your IIQA. Because only within 25 days you will have to submit your SSR. So once you submit your first part, that is the IIQA, after that you have 25 days for submitting your SSR. So before you submit your IIQA, you make it a point that your SSR is ready. So keep ready your SSR, and then go into the first part, that is the IIQA. So the second part, when you submit your SSR, so that in that you have different stages of verification. The first one is data validation and verification, what you say as DVV. So whatever data you are submitted to the NAAC will be verified, and if there are any queries, you'll be contacted too. So that's not a problem. So if you have any queries, or if you have done any mistake which is not legible to them, or which they cannot understand, they'll call you and they'll ask you for queries which you need to submit again. So simultaneously with the DVV is another process called the Student Satisfaction Survey. So this Student Satisfaction Survey is to be conducted by the NAAC directly with the students. They have directly to contact with the students. We'll have to submit the entire total number of students, email IDs, and they'll be contacted from the NAAC office. A random selection of about 10% of the students will be selected. We don't know who the students are, and the reply to their mails should be done by the students. So only if the student satisfaction survey is the reply is got for the 10% of the, supposing you have 3,000 students, about 300 students should respond. Only then the NAAC goes into the next process. So if the student satisfaction survey is a failure, again, the NAAC process will be stopped, or the process will not be continued. So these two, DVV and yes, student satisfaction survey, will be done simultaneously. And the next part is the peer team visit. So the last part is only the peer team visit. So they'll come to our college after all we have fulfilled all the other remaining 3 stages. Only the last stage is the peer team visit. So the SSR to be submitted, that is what you call Quality Indicator Framework, QIF. So there you have, there also you have different stages. The first one is you have to write an executive summary of about 5,000 words. Then you give a college profile, details of the college profile, then the extended profile. So this extended profile is very, very important in that it takes into the details of the number of staff members, the number of students, the permanent staff members who are faculty who are working, then even number of outgoing students, then the number of computers, number of ICT halls, everything will be asked in this extended profile. So we should be very careful when we are filling up this extended profile, in that the data which you give here will be taken up for calculation in your quantitative metrics. So whatever data you give here will be taken up as a denominator of all the quantitative metrics, whether it is an average or whether it is a percentage. So you double verify you're giving your data properly. So coming to the SSR, it contains both the qualitative and quantitative metrics. So we have 2 types of metrics here. So before I go into that, I like to say what are the certain terms you should be familiar with. You have a key indicators, you have metrics. In this metrics, you have 2 types. One is the quantitative metrics, the other is the qualitative metrics. So the key indicators, so as you know, NAAC has 7 criteria. In these 7 criteria, you have about 32 key indicators. You have 32 key indicators. In that, you have quantitative as well as qualitative metrics. The qualitative metrics are is what you write in about 500 words. It is something of a descriptive form. The quantitative metrics is about calculation. You have a formula. It is about numbers. So you have 60 quantitative metrics and you have 36 qualitative metrics. So the total metrics sum up to 96. So you have so I got just a example I've given here. So if you take the criteria 1, the key indicators are curriculum design, development, curriculum planning, academic flexibility. And the metrics, if you see here, this is the metrics under the key indicators. So you can have either it can be QLM or it can be QNM. If it is QNM, it will be numbers. If it is QLM, it will be a description. All the QLM questions, it will be a description of only 500 words. Except for the last criteria 7, you have best practices and institutional distinctiveness, which you will have to write it for 1,000 words. So all the other criteria, all the metrics of qualitative metrics, you will have to restrict your description for only about 500 words. So this is the outline of the NAAC, and how much you'll have to score for A++, it will be about 934 to 950. So again, the total score, our score of marks will be 1,000, out of which you have to score for about 950 and above to get an A++ grade. And for an A+, it will be about 775 to 830, and it goes on. So in the new framework, about 1,473 institutions have been accredited, and many of the colleges have fared well, and they have got A++. From St. Joseph's College, St. Saviour's College, one from our hometown, they have got A+, and Mary's College. So So this is some data about the accreditation the institutions have got. So coming to the criteria, as I told you, you have 7 criteria. So each criteria carries different weightages. So the total weightage is 1,000, but it's not evenly spread out. Some criteria carry a higher weightage than the other criteria. So the first one is curricular aspects, something about the curriculum which we are dealing with. The teaching, learning, and evaluation is the second criteria, which is very, very important. It carries the crux of the entire 7 criteria. It has about 350 weightage, and research, innovations, and extension of 120, infrastructure, learning, and resources 100, and student support and progression. Just a minute. So, sorry. So this is about research, innovation, extension as 120, and the infrastructure, learning, resources about 100, student support and progression 130, and governance and leadership and management 100, and institutional best values and best practices is 100. So if you look at how much each criteria carries, so the second criteria 2, that is teaching, learning, and evaluation comes first, and followed by student support and progression. Then comes research, and all the other criteria are equally distributed with 100. So if you look at the criteria, so the second criteria you'll have to focus more because it carries a lot of marks, as well as you can score also more in that teaching, learning, and evaluation. So going into the this is what I already told you about the executive summary. So the period, you have different periods to be taken into account when you prepare your SSR. So for publications, you will have to concentrate on a calendar year. So you have a calendar year, you have an academic year, and the financial year. 3 types of dates you will have to remember for when you're preparing your SSR. So for a publication, you will have to, it should be taken into account from January to December. For financial aspects, it should be taken account from April to March. And for other metrics, the normal academic year which we follow. So coming into first criteria, that is curricular aspects, curriculum design and development. So that is for an autonomous college. So all these criteria which I am showing you here, this is the weightages. They are different for autonomous colleges, they're different for universities, and different for affiliated college. So since I'm concentrating more on your college, so I have given only for affiliated college. So the the first criteria, that is the curricular aspects, it has 4 key indicators. First one is curricular planning and implementation, academic flexibility, curriculum enrichment, and feedback system. So these are the 4 key indicators present in the first criteria. So curriculum design and development is not applicable for us because it is only for autonomous colleges. So this the other 4 comes for us. So the first one is, I'm not going into all the details of all the metrics, but I'll be concentrating on a very few. So the within 1 hour, how much I can concentrate, that I will do it for you. So going into the first one. So the first one, the institution ensures that the effective curriculum delivery through well-planned and documented process. So this is the 1.1.1. So this is the metric 1.1.1 under the key indicator curriculum first part. So under this, the institution ensures effective curriculum delivery through a well-planned and documented process. We are following a curriculum which is being designed by the university because we are an affiliated college. Now, how well we are planning and how well we are delivering. So well-planned and a documented process, how well we are following it and how well efficiently we are delivering the process. That is the point here. So how we can document what are the things you can take into account. So I have given a few points. First one is the academic calendar. So the academic calendar, every college prepares an academic calendar with the reopening and all the whatever the entire year consists of comes into the academic calendar. So with your when is your exams, when is your internals, when the university exam starts, when your practical exams starting. So accordingly, you schedule all the other programs. So every college has an academic calendar. You have a teaching plan also. So every staff member is allotted some subject with the syllabus, and they have a teaching plan and how they are going to plan their units, whichever topics they are going to take. So that's a teaching plan. So that is also there, which we have. But we may not be documenting everything. That is the point. So here in this NAAC RAF new reforms, what is very much needed is documentation. So that is very, very much needed, because we are going to submit our data to a third party who is going to validate. So only if the documents are proper, it will be taken into account. Supposing you're giving a data, but you're not attaching the document pertaining to the particular data, then that data will not be taken into account. It will not be counted. So very, very important point which all of us should remember is documentation. So teaching plan, will be having a plan of teaching. So finishing the first week, we'll have to do this. First, second week, we'll have to do this. But we may not be noting it down, or we may not be documenting, but that should be done. And departmental meeting. So we'll be conducting several meetings. So the minutes of the meeting of the department, how they are planning to go about running the department for the different delivery or the timetables to be followed. So that can be recorded. The minutes of the meeting can be kept as a document. Then the teaching learning outcomes. So whatever you're teaching, what is the outcome the student is going to get from what you're teaching? So you have, so I just wanted to remind you that all the criteria are interlinked. So what data you give in one criteria will be reflected somewhere again in some other metrics, in some other criteria, in some other form. So if you give mismatching data, that will be a problem. So teaching learning outcomes, this comes very much in the second criteria. So what are the POs and COs that we'll be seeing in the second criteria? So here, what you plan is what's the teaching you're going to give and what is the learning outcomes the student is going to get. Then the timetable, you have a planning of the timetable. So the institution has planned the timetable, your department will have a timetable, then the staff members will have their individual timetables. So that can be recorded. Then teaching learning resources, what are the resources you're using for your delivery of your teaching methods or teaching or your curriculum or your portions. Then bridge and the remedial courses which you conduct regularly for your students. Then question banks and previous year's papers, academic activity and its planning, the teacher's diary and result analysis. So that's very, very important. So all these combined together, we prove that we are, although we follow an university syllabus, we are delivering that properly to the students and it reaches the students in time and they are benefited. So to prove that, you need to have some documentation. So these are some of the documentations you can have for this particular metrics. The next one is the 1.1.3, that is teachers of the institution is participating in following activities, that is for the curriculum development. So you are delivering a curriculum and what is the contribution to the development of the curriculum in the affiliating university. So the affiliating university is designing the curriculum and what is your participation in that part. So here you can have if you are a member, if any one of the person in the department is a member in the academic council or board of studies of the affiliating university, then that letter can be documented. Then if you are a question paper setter for the UG and the PG programs, that can be documented. Or we get letters from the university, so that can be got and that can be documented. Then design and development of curriculum for add-on and certificate and diploma courses. So you have a certain certificate courses which is being run by the university. So if you are a part of the design and development of the curriculum for these, then you can have this letter or this document you can add here. Then everybody will be in the part and process of evaluation. So evaluation for the theory papers, your practicals, that can be made here, and also the assessment. So you may be acting as an examiner for the PhD Viva. You may be assessing several theses for MPhil or PhD from the university. So that can be recorded in this metrics of 1.1.3. Now, next key indicator. Next, you have the academic flexibility. So here, how flexible your academic programs are and what you're giving to the students. So here, very, very important aspect which you have to concentrate is the add-on or the certificate programs which you are being giving to the students. So these add-on or certificate programs, what it should be not something which is a part of your curriculum. So what you teach in the curriculum should not be part of the program. That is the proper rule that you have to follow. So you'll have to give something which is an additional part to the students, but it should not be a part of your curriculum what they are studying. Not should be something which a paper which he is studying already. And the second thing is that this certificate program should not be less than 30 years. The minimum of 30 years, you can have more than that also. And it should be offered not in the normal working hours, it should be after that. So these 3 points you'll have to remember when you run an add-on or a certificate program. And how many programs you are running within the last 5 years. The same program can be repeated also. So that also can be counted. Supposing you're giving a program of, say, skill development or computer science. For one semester, you're offering that particular program. For the next semester also, you can offer the same program, but the participants must be different. So that number of programs is also important, and the number of students also who are attending that program is also very much important. Now, what are the documents to be maintained for this particular program? So you need to have the name of the students, their attendance list, how many students are coming for the classes, then the duration of the classes, how many hours you have taken, and the curriculum, what you have designed, what is the syllabus you have designed for that. Then what is the assessment procedure you are adopting, whether it's an MCQ question or you have given you are given an online test, whatever it may be. Then what's the outcome of the program? Supposing you're giving for all the courses, you should have outcomes. So that will be that we'll be seeing in the second criteria. So for the add-on course also, when you design a curriculum, you give what is the outcome of the course outcome. What is the outcome if he studies this? What is the use he's going to get when he completes the particular program? Then the attendance record, as I told you, list of students who have been enrolled and other certificates you have issued, and what is the assessment process you have followed, and what is the certificate you have issued, and if any feedback you have got from the students. So these are all the documents you need to have when you show that I have run this particular add-on program or a certificate program. Now, another very important part in the first criteria is the feedback. So you have feedback from the students, that is in the second criteria, that is to be conducted by NAAC. Now, this is the 1.4.1 metrics that says that the institution obtains feedback on the syllabus and its transaction at the institution from the following stakeholders. So this is purely based on the curriculum. Your questions should be based on the syllabus which you have given for the students, which the university has given for us rightly, and how you have delivered the transaction of the syllabus. So that is to be concentrated in this feedback. No, the questions should be pertaining to this particular point, and the stakeholders from whom you'll have to get it is from the students, the teachers, the employers. The employer is not your employer, but the student when he is employed in a particular company after 2 years or once he completes his graduation. The employer should give us the feedback, whether this curriculum which the student has learned and got into his company is okay, whether it is industry oriented or whether he needs any change in the curriculum. So such questions can be included. So the question type for the students should be different. For the teachers, it should be catering to what are the problems you may encounter when you are delivering this curriculum, whether it's very heavy or you don't have time to complete the syllabus like that. From the employers, it should be whether they are employable. Once the student goes into the company, well, with this particular curriculum and the degree, whether they are employable, whether they are okay with it. And from the alumni, once the student completes and goes out of this college, what does he feel about the curriculum, whether it's okay. So when all these are taken into account, This is the 1.4.1. The next question is 1.4.2. Only it's not enough if you get all the feedback from all these stakeholders. You'll have to analyze it. Only if you analyze the feedback and take an action, you get the 10 marks in the next 1.4.2. So you'll have most of the questions, if you see metrics, it will be interconnected. One will ask about the particular say feedback or project or anything like that. The next question which follows will be closely linked to the second question. In that, it may have a quantitative data of the number of students studying. So the earlier add-on course, you saw that the number of students who have attended the add-on course. The first question was number of add-on courses you have conducted. So it's quite closely linked. Most of the key indicators will have many questions which are quite closely linked together. So here, if you see, the feedback process of the institution may be classified as what you have done with the feedback. So we have got the feedback and kept it in the file. That's not the answer. You have to analyze it. You have to find out what is the what is the feedback you have got from all these people and what action you have taken. Supposing a student says that when an alumni goes out, he says that this curriculum is not suitable, I'm not getting any job, this you have to change it, make it more industry oriented, make them more skill oriented, or that's what they have given. You can represent it into the university, say to the CDC, or many of us maybe the board of studies, members of the board of studies. So you can represent this to the university people, and supposing the curriculum is being changed the next year, they can include this, whatever you have, the stakeholders have suggested, that suggestions can be included or incorporated. So you'll have to collect them and analyze them, and action taken. What's the action taken? So this has to be registered. So this is an example I've taken from the institution, was got A+ grade or something like that, and how they have uploaded. So they given you this QLM question they have given, and with the data, how they have analyzed the feedback, and whatever feedback you have analyzed, this can be given as a link in the website, and the link can be uploaded. So everything should be transparent. Whatever you do, you have to upload it in the website so that the stakeholders can see from time to time. So this is an example for a feedback report that I thought I'll show you. So the second criterion is criterion 2 is teaching, learning, and evaluation. As I told you, this is a very, very important criteria that is carrying about weightage of 350. So you have QNM metrics of 225, and the QLM metrics is 125 here. So more of numbers. But quantitative metrics also carries some writing part also. In that you have additional information. So every metrics, if you see, you can see the question additional information, if any, if you want to add any information. So in that case, you can have some write-up also in the quantitative metrics also. So it doesn't just stop with the numbers. You can give some documentation for the numbers which you have given. So for the numbers, you will have an Excel sheet. At the end of, in your, if you say you take the SSR, you have format from the NAAC website, you can see you have the template. So each quantitative metrics has a template in which you'll have to write up or add up your data in the Excel sheet, and you will have to submit. So apart from that, you can have additional information. In that you can add the documents for the quantitative data, whatever you are giving. So here, if you see, you have here's 7 key indicators. That is, one is student enrollment profile, catering to student diversity, teaching learning process, teacher profile and quality, evaluation process and reforms, student performance and learning outcomes, student satisfaction survey. So here, if you see the student enrollment profile, more of a data which you can get from the college office. So how many people, how many students have enrolled, and what is the reservation systems you have followed. All these can be got from the office. And catering to student diversity. Now, catering to student diversity, the one important point which you have to understand is that the institution assesses the learning levels of the students and organizes special programs for advanced learners and slow learners. So this is very much to be taken into account, because how you are assessing the students, that is the point here. How you are assessing the students once the students are entering into your campus. So first level of assessment, when they enter into the camp, before they enter, some colleges have some entrance test, but most of the UG programs, you just admit them based on the 12th marks, +2 marks. And so once they enter, you'll have to assess how the students in your class are, so that what is the methodology you're going to follow to deliver your curriculum. So that is the teaching learning process, how you're going to plan your delivery process. That is the teaching and learning process. So before you go into the planning of your process, you should know how your audiences are and how your students are. So for that, what you should do is have an assessment of the learners, and you classify them as slow learners and advanced learners. So accordingly, you can cater to the slow learners, and accordingly you can cater to the advanced learners. So how you do this, how you're going to do this, you can adopt your own methods. So first one is identifying the learner types. So this is what you're going to do in the second criteria. First, you identify the learner types. Then you are using your learning systems. What is the learning system you're going to follow to deliver your lecture? Then your evaluation system, and then integrating the teaching methods and the learning methods. So these are the entire set which is going to be concentrated in the criteria 2. So is it going good, or you need some, I'm going fast or anything like that? You can just stop me, sir.
Ma'am, it's going well, ma'am. Yeah, please go ahead. No problem.
It's okay, sir? Okay, sir. Thank you. And so first one is what you're going to, how you're going to identify the learners. First, the slow learners and then the fast learners. So before that, you have to have an entry-level identification test. So that's what I said. We don't have that. We just entry them based on the +2 marks. And then for the course level identification, you can use this method. So you can have a MCQ test, or you can have, before you identify, you can that is bridging the gap in the transition from the school to the college. That is your understanding levels. The bridging the gap in the understanding levels of the student. That's what you're going to do, so that they settle down in your new curriculum. So what you do is you can give them a bridge course for about a duration you can decide. It may be 3 days or 5 days or 1 week. So normally we bridge course means we think of an English course. So that is also very much needed, because they come from another medium of instruction. So when they come to college, that is going to be a problem. So apart from that, every department can organize a bridge course in their subject. So I think in this COVID period, when the students have not undergone any exams, or they have not got their classes also properly conducted, I think that's very much needed when you get a fresher into our first year zoology or botany or chemistry or whatever. So they have to be assessed, or they have to be given a hand holding when they to come out from the school to the college. So you offer them a bridge course, maybe the duration you can fix it, and at the end of that you assess them. So the assessment can be an MCQ, or you can give a paper and pencil, but now it may be online test. So you identify this, you identify the students and course outcomes, the identification of slow learners and fast learners. Now, what you need for the documentation? Say you say I have conducted the test, I have identified. Now, what is the document you have for such process which you have done? So you need to have an attendance sheet of the students, then approval, the meeting which you have got with the HOD or with the principal, and then after the principal allows you convene a meeting in the department. That is the minutes of the meetings. So from this such and such a date, I'm going to conduct the bridge course, and so this is the format you are taking up. And so when you're conducting, so all these has to be documented. So syllabus of the bridge course, then what is the assessment method, then the scores, how much the students have got, and accordingly how you classify them as slow learners. You can have your own weightages. You can have below 50% you can classify as slow learners. You can have below 35% I'm going to classify them as slow learners, or above 50% above 80% I'm classifying them as advanced learners. That depends upon you. You can set your benchmarks. So depending upon your own benchmarking, you can classify them. Now, once you separate these advanced learners and slow learners, what is the remedial measures you are going to take for them? So not only for the slow learners, the advanced learners all get to be concentrated. So what is for slow learners, you can help them out by providing some resources in regional languages, or some study materials we can give them in a simplified form, or you can give them some remedial classes as such. Apart from the regular classes, we can give some extra coaching and extra explanations they may need. That can be done for the slow learners. And the documents, for that also you need to have documents. So you have schedule of the additional coaching, what is the time schedule you are using, what is the timetable you have followed, and list of the identified students, department meeting minutes. The department meeting minutes should be very much documented for each meeting you are being conducted, because this will be reflected in the criteria 6 also. And criteria 6 also, all the meetings conducted in the entire college, the minutes should be recorded in criteria 6. So each department, if they maintain their department minutes, that will be very, very useful, and it will be easy for the IQAC to collect. And the advanced learners also, you can help them out, not only to concentrate only on the slow learners, you can concentrate on the advanced learners also. You can help them, you can give small projects, you can motivate them to go into research, because not only in the PG level you need to have research, you can even in the UG level you can motivate them, you can help them to interact with the PhD viva. Supposing if you're conducting a PhD viva, you can make them interact with the resource person, you can share with them the avenues which are available, so that when they go up to the PG level, or from the PG they go into research, they have an idea of what is their area of research or area of interest, and so you can motivate them to go into higher levels. So that also should be done for the advanced learners. Then the teaching learning methods. So you have different learning methods. You have student-centric learning. So that student-centric learning can be project-based. Project-based, you can act as a facilitator, or it may be problem-based by giving projects. You can give problems like that. Flipped classrooms can be followed, or group projects and mini projects can also be given to students. So you have different teaching and learning methods. So you have certain teaching methods. So you say that is an experiential learning. It may be a pseudo experiential learning, or you can give a case study to the student. Supposing if he's a commerce student, he can, even a UG student can be sent to, you can go to the market, you go into a supermarket and find out how it is being run. So small case studies can be given to a UG student. For PG students, higher levels of projects can be given, internships can be done, and also you can go into some simulation effect. So all these are experiential learning. And you have other methods also. You can have screenplay or team play. For arts, you can have drama and arts theater, then filmmaking and outer learning exercise. So different learning methods, different teaching methods you can incorporate into your schedule of teaching, so that this can be useful for the students as well as for the teachers, or can also be beneficial. Then the ICT enabled tools, as you all know. So we are in this COVID period, all of us have become more ICT oriented. So we are all using Google Classroom. The learning management system, what system you are using in your college, that can be documented, that can be given from the website. You should give a link to the LMS system which you are using in the website. The link can be given here. And these are the latest resources which are available. Open Educational Resources is a platform where you can use the resources which is already available in this platform. So you have many information which is being useful for this ICT enabled tools. Then Edu Creations, then you have the instructables for science departments. This is a site where experiments can be designed. The students can go in and experiment there. Google Analytics is it is a tool which assesses the usage, your website usage or your app usage. So that is not into the NAAC yet, but it's predicted that it will soon be included. So you can predict, you can analyze the students' usage of your Google Classroom, or you can analyze the app or the website is visiting. So these are some of the latest technologies that can be included into your system. That is the ICT enabled tools. So the next is the student performance and learning outcomes. So this is 2.6 you have. So this is what I had told you in the one itself, the learning outcomes. So what is the outcome which the student gets from your teaching or from the program he is attending? So here you have to see that programs offered by the institution. Program is the BA, BSc, BCom, all these are programs. courses is each program contains different courses. Say, for example, for us, you have immunology or microbiology or biotechnology. All these are courses under the program zoology. So these are program outcomes also you'll have to write out, and course outcomes also have to be cleared out. So in autonomous colleges, if you visit the websites, all the programs and program outcomes and the course outcomes will be posted in their websites. Although we don't design a curriculum, we are following a curriculum from our university. The university may give the course outcomes, but we should also prepare a program outcome and a course outcome. For this, you can visit the UGC website. For all the programs, there are outcomes given in the UGC sites. So you can take up whichever courses which is applicable for you, you can take and slightly modify whatever outcome you are expecting from the particular course or the particular program you are offering. So that is also carries a lot of marks, 15 plus 15, 30 marks. So 30 marks is allotted for the program outcome and the course outcome. Then last comes the student satisfaction survey. As I told you, the online satisfaction survey. Yeah, that is the process which is being carried out by NAAC simultaneously along with the DVV, that is data verification, validation and the verification. And so this is come under 2.7. So the student will be contacted directly by the NAAC. So we'll have to submit the email addresses of the entire set of students. The college as a whole, we'll have to submit the email. We do not know to whom they are going to contact. So they'll contact. So they have to respond to the contact. That is very, very important. The students should keep their mail active. They should see to their mail whether they have got any mail from the NAAC, and they should reply to the questions. That is some 19 MCQ questions and 1 descriptive question. 20 questions will be there. So you can train them to answer these questions, but you do not know to whom the question is going, to whom the mail is going. The students should check their mail and respond to it. Only if 10% of your total student strength responds to this student satisfaction survey, your process will be taken to the next step. So that is very, very important. So this is just I made a overview of what you're going to give to the students and what you expect from the students. So all these are criteria metrics which you are dealing with the offerings what you are giving to the students, a certificate, a diploma program, or how you are delivering your curriculum, or the internships or projects which you are arranging for the students, or the capacity enhancement, capacity building programs what you're giving the students. All these which you are inputs which you are giving, and what you expect from the students is a very good feedback. That's what we always expect, and NAAC also expects the students to give a good feedback, but and a response to the feedback. That is very, very important. It can be a good feedback or bad feedback. That's not a problem. He should respond to the feedback. That is very important, and it carries a weightage of 60 marks. That is the point there in student satisfaction survey. So you need to score that entire 60, and so you'll have to be in contact with the students and explain to them about the importance of this student satisfaction survey, so that they respond when the questions are posted from NAAC into their mail IDs. So that is criteria 2. Now going into criteria 3. So research, innovation and extension is criteria 3. So we are an affiliated college. We are all, I think Pachaiyappa College is also a very great research center. So what the NAAC will expect is all the colleges which have research centers in their PG departments to be good at research and to prove themselves in research. And so this research, innovation and extension, which carries a weightage of 120, is quite important for us, like PG colleges and research centers. So the first metrics in that, key indicator in that is 3.1 is resource mobilization for research. So funds where you get for the research. So how we mobilize the funds, what are the projects you have got, governmental projects or from the NGOs or non-governmental projects or from stakeholders, private stakeholders you have got. So all these have to be documented in the resource mobilization. What are the resources you have mobilized and how you have got, and you have to document them. So that is grants from government and non-governmental agencies, and the guides, how many guides you have is 3.1.2. So this is just documentation and how you have got all the projects, and you should have a proper document for all this. 3.2 is innovation ecosystem. Now, coming into this innovation ecosystem, that is quite a interesting topic for us. So, institution has created an ecosystem for innovation. Innovation is something new which you have to. The MHRD is very much concentrated on this innovation and incubation. So, we are a institution in incubation council we have. So, which is a MHRD coming under MHRD. There we do activities in this entrepreneurship or innovation, and we regularly we submit to the MHRD, and that is a system which is going on. So here also you have you have to create an innovation ecosystem so that the students, not only in their curriculum and their studies, they are going in for an overall development. When they go out of this college, they have the overall development in entrepreneurship or in their new ideas. If they have new ideas, you can help them to come out with the prototype and help them to go into a new venture, that is a startup or an entrepreneur. So that is the main aim of an innovation ecosystem. So in this, you can give ideas. You can here you have idea creation. So you can conduct some competitions for idea creation. That's called idea pitching. That's what we do in MIC. So idea creations can be done. From these ideas, you pick up best ideas. Even you have an EDP, entrepreneur development cell from state government also. Not only MHRD, from state government also you have an EDP cell. So they'll be constantly conducting programs. You can motivate your students. That's what is very much needed for our students. So personal counseling and motivation. So we may think that engineering colleges will be doing more on innovation, while arts and science college what we can do, but it's not this. It's not like that, because we had collected a group of students and we had taught them of idea pitching, and we had motivated them. They came up at the end of the day. They came up with new ideas of for when the bike is lost, how we can. They have prepare a software for detecting it. It was very, very interesting, and it was astonishing that arts and science colleges even have new ideas and for in this area of innovation. So you can motivate your students. You can counsel your students to come up with this new ideas and help them. So you're acting as a facilitator to help them to realize their talents. The students may themselves not know that they are knowing such things. Once you help them out and you conduct such seminars or workshops, they'll be happy that they'll come out with new ideas, and you can help them to go into the next level of prototypes and startups also. So here you can give them counseling, even small amounts of seed money, like if they're going to do a prototype, you can help them out with seed money and financial assistance also. So what the institution creates such atmosphere, that is what NAAC asks, what is that you are creating. So incubation center need not be a very big what they have in engineering colleges. We need not have such a big area or such a big infrastructure like for that. Even a small room or a small part of your lab can be given for them, where they should have a net connectivity, and they should have sit together and discuss their ideas, and they can come out with some new ideas. So that's more important. So you can have a small area which you can show it as an incubation center also. So that's what I was saying. So it be a small workspace for the students to sit and work, and you can help the mentoring assistance. You can give high-speed internet. Of course, it's available now throughout. All colleges are having. So you have this Atal Innovation Mission that is being launched by the central government. So this Atal incubation for schools, they are giving a lot of money. That is Atal Tinkering Labs. That's the process in schools. For us, it is Atal Incubation Center. They are helping out with colleges also. So you can apply for that and get some amount of seed money and help out the students to come out with the new innovation thought, which you can help them to come out with the new ideas. So that can be shown innovation. So very small innovation. I would like to say that our students, BBA students, what they did was even before lockdown, they were planning to start some this online delivery like that, like Zomato and Swiggy. They had thought of, and our staff members motivated them and helped them out in designing the app and everything. And once the lockdown started, these students were very, this process was very useful in that they started delivering goods to all the houses, personal houses. We were not able to go out of the house, and these students, what they did is they started delivering the grocery, what matter, grocery, vegetables, anything for that matter. And that was a small app and a small motivation which we did for our students, and they came out and they're doing it successfully, continuously also. So many of our staff members, even us, we were getting things from them. So that's a small thought of innovation that students may have. We should just motivate them and help them to realize their ideas into concrete projects. That's a simple way. So workshops to be conducted here, IPR workshops only should be shown under this. Many colleges are showing whatever seminars or whatever they are doing, that is being shown here, but that's not the, so that will not be taken into account. Only you'll have to show workshops or seminars which you have conducted for IPR, and you can have an industry academia interaction. Supposing you're inviting any industry people to talk on this, that can be included. Then any research methodology leading to this, that can be included. So only under these headings you can include workshops or seminars which you have conducted under this criteria. That is here 3.2.2, you have a number of workshops or seminars which is being conducted under IPR. So this is about that innovation ecosystem. And this is a small, this is an Excel sheet which will be showing or filling up for the number of projects. So you have PI, co-PI, the year of award. The year of award you should take into consideration is your assessment period. The project should be in that particular assessment period. Supposing you're going into the assessment of, say, for a 19 to 23, the project should fall into this period. Either completed projects cannot be shown in this period. So the assessment period, whether it's from the government or non-governmental agencies, is the Excel sheet you'll have to upload. Then research publications, that that research papers, how many research papers you are each individual has in journals, and especially UGC CAR list they are asking. So for NIRF it will be for Web of Science and Scopus, but here it is UGC CAR list. And PhDs, before it was a number of PhD teachers was asked. Now it is number of PhDs. It was number of PhD guides in the before framework. Now it is PhD registered per eligible teacher. I'm saying the framework is every now and then the framework will be updated. The NAAC RAF, the new RAF was released in 2017. It has been updated nearly 2 to 3 times. The recent updation was in December. So the entire process will not be changed, but the small updations will be there. Some metrics will be changed. Some weightages also will be changed. So the latest thing is that number of PhDs who have registered under each eligible guide. So it's not that you have this many number of guides. Each guide, how many PhDs is guiding? That's the point you'll have to see here. And the research papers, you have what is the papers you have published in a UGC CAR list. And you have to give it in a format like this. So you have to list out the name of the this is the template where you'll have to give all your details. And here you see that recognition of the list of the enlisted journal. So this is how you will have to put it in your website. When you give a link, when you click that link, it goes to the first part of the first page of the journal. Here you give a link. If you click that link, it should go to the article directly to the paper. And for the UGC CAR list, you have 2 lists, A and B. So where your paper is, that link also should be given here. So these should be given in your website. So a template which you upload in the SSR will be linked to the recognition enlisted in the journal only. So this only will be given in your template. These 2 will be additional information. This you should give it in your website. The template has only this, but these 2 are links, which is very important. Your website should have, whether if an individual has a paper, the paper link to the journal should be given in the website. So all this, what we have done is we have given each department has a biodata of all the staff members, and in that biodata, you have the link to all the papers. So that should be given in the website. And this is an example I have shown. This is the links they have given in the UGC. So once the link, it goes directly to the UGC journal with the ISSN number and everything. Supposing the paper is not online. Supposing you have published a paper which is not online, what you can do is that you can give this. You give the paper. You make a scanned copy of the paper, the journal name, scanned copy of the paper, put it in your website, put the link in the template. Then next is the extension activities. So that is the next part. So both carries equal weightage. Your 120 marks. Supposing you cannot score in research, you can score in extension. So that is the point in criteria 3. So extension activities, you have 2 types. One is extension activities which is carried out in the neighborhood community, sensitizing the students to the social issues. The next is extension and outreach programs, which is being conducted by the NSS, NCC, and the Red Cross. So both are different. You cannot claim the same program under both the metrics. 3.4.1, what you give should not be given here. What you give here should not be given there. So both activities should be completely different. So what is this extension and outreach program? So extension activities is the what aspect of education which emphasizes on neighborhood services. Here the beneficiaries are, you take the students and sensitize them on the social problems or social activities, make them sensitized to problems, and they should know these skills. So that is what you're doing in the extension activity. And the outreach activity is a local community. You're targeting community, making an awareness. You're creating an awareness to say a public awareness or to a particular part, to a village or a targeted community. So all NSS and NCC, YRC, we all do this such programs under this, but it should be documented properly. So you can have many government programs also can be done with the government, the local collectorate, or with the local administration. You can combine. And what we had done is with the local administration, we had done on voter awareness campaign. We had sensitized. We had done rallies. We had made some tableaus like that. So all that we had done along with the local administration. So that can be shown here. Here, extension activity in the neighborhood, what you're going to do. So this can be done department-wise. Some of the colleges have got a separate extension. They have given a name for that particular extension, say committee or extension department as such. It is functioning separately, and they have done a lot. St. Xavier's College, Palayappa, they have done. They have got an extension that was also shown as a best practice. So most of the extension activities, if it is very unique, you can show them as a best practice in C7. Criteria 7, you have best practices. So that can be shown there. So if you're doing it very extremely well in that can be shown as a best practice. So what the extension activity should have is that it should have an impact of the activity. The beneficiaries can be made available. Supposing you're adopting a village and you are giving some efficiently, you are giving something to the villagers can be called upon when the peer team visit comes, and they may be allowed to talk. So that is the actual thing. When the peer team visit comes, you can impress the peer team. That can be done. And so, as I told you, it can be also shown as one of the best practice. You can show it here also, and you can show it there also. This is a best practice. So it can contribute towards fulfilling the overall development. Mainly it inculcates social responsibility to the students. You're making them aware of the social responsibility, what is going around us, and how they can be sensitized to all such problems. So that is the main aim. Or NAAC asks us to help the students not only in the curriculum, they should be knowing about the other things also, what is sensitizing going on around us. So that is the need for this extension activity. So here also you can score. So most of the what we say are mentee colleges, UG colleges, they can score here, we will say. So these are some examples I have given. It need not be restricted to this. You can have your own outreach activity. You can have your own extension activity, depending upon the area specific also. Supposing you have a drought-ridden area here in Tuticorin, we have a water scarcity. So you can find out the water table, how it is, and how water can be conserved. That you can make an awareness. So depending upon your own area-wise also, depending what is the need for to be done, that you can do. So this is this is a template which I have given. Now coming to the last part, that is a collaboration and MOUs. So this is also carries a weightage of 30 marks. Collaboration is what you do with another institute, or what when two or more people work together for and create or something, or you achieve something, that is collaboration. Say for example, you are collaborating with the nearby institute, both of you join together and you have an exchange of faculty and you're doing an add-on course or a certificate course. Supposing you don't have facilities here, you're going and collaborating with the higher institute and you're doing say student projects, you're sending them there. So the joint projects, that can be shown as a collaboration. And in publication, when we jointly publish, when you are publishing with a higher institute or with any other institute for that matter, so that also is again a collaboration. Then as I said, utilizing the funds or the resources, that also is a collaboration. So this can be shown under collaboration. For coming to the MOUs could be done with an academic or an industry. With an university, you can tie up with an MOU, or you can tie up with you can have an MOU with the industry or an institution. So what you need to have in the MOU is that you should be letters which show what is the motive of your MOU, how beneficiary both of you going to benefit. So in an MOU, both the parties will be benefited. So we refer to as party 1 and party 2, and what is the benefits of each party is going to get. So that should be there in the MOU. It's not that you sign an MOU and keep it and that can be showcased when in your peer team visit. No, the MOU, once you sign it, it should be functional. You should do whatever you have given in that particular format. At least one event should be done per year. And if you're having an MOU for about 5 years continuously, that will be considered as only one. It will be taken into account one. Now, MOUs with your sister institutions coming under the same umbrella. Supposing you're showing an MOU with your sister institution, that will not be counted. That will not be included. So, as I said, you can have an MOU with supposing you are having inviting any person to train your students in mobile technology, like that. So that can be shown as an add-on course or a certificate course. Also, you are giving a entrepreneurial training also, and you can have sign an MOU that for the next 2 years you'll be training my students on this such and such a course, say mobile technology or in any industry. So that MOU can also be shown here. So all these are simple tips you can have. So MOUs need not be with very big in the university or a very big research institute, not like that. You can have MOUs with a nearby industry, or which is very useful for the students. That also you can have an MOU, but it should be functional. You should be doing something under this MOU. It's not that it should be kept, it is just kept in paper, then that will not be counted. And we have signed a lot of MOUs with we have a fisheries research institute nearby. So zoology students, we send them there for training programs. So they'll be conducting training programs and entrepreneurial training they'll give in apart from the normal seminars, workshops. So if once they go in and come back, they get certificates for entrepreneurship also. So that will be useful for them in the future also. So we've got a MOU with this. Then we've got an MOU with a private organization who they conduct English courses, skill-based courses, personality development, skill-based interview skills. So all these are some examples I'm telling what we have. And this is the template where you have to put your MOU. Sir, are we running out of time, or I'll finish it off, sir? 4, 5, and 6. Murugesan sir, Sivamurugan sir, somebody can tell me? Up to what time I can take, sir? Up to what time I can take, sir?
You can take up to 6:45, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. And coming to the criteria 4, criteria 4 is more of infrastructure and learning resources, as the name indicates. So mostly of physical infrastructure, here you'll have to take into account the sports infrastructure, what you have for the students, what is the gymnasium or whatever infrastructure you have given them, the court, or what is the different sports facilities you're giving to the students. Then the library is to be concentrated. Library as a learning resource, what are the latest updates you have in the library. IT infrastructure, that is very important, because in criteria 2, you'll be saying that you have this ICT tools, I'm using these, all these, and here you'll be showing the number of classes which is having this ICT tools, or what is the IT infrastructure, and the Wi-Fi bandwidth, how much you are having, whether the campus is Wi-Fi. So all these will be shown here in 4.3. Then how your maintenance of this, the entire infrastructure, how you're maintaining. All this infrastructure, you're putting it photos, means all should be geotagged photos. So all the infrastructure photos, supposing you're uploading, that should be geotagged photos. That is to be taken into account. So as I told, infrastructure facilities, physical facilities, then teaching learning facilities, what is the infrastructure you have, ICT enabled classes, what you have, and library, how what is the automation you have in the library, e-resources, e-books, e-journals, what you have subscribed, and how much you have every year you expenditure, what's the expenditure you have for every year for the library. So all these come under this infrastructure, especially the IT facilities, including Wi-Fi student computer ratio, minimum of 3 to 4, one computer for 3 to 4 students, maximum of 5 you can give. That will fetch you a good score. So depending upon the total strength of your college and what you show in the number of computers, so you have to calculate that. So a minimum of 4 to 5 students or 3 to 4 students can share one computer. That can be taken into account. So maintenance of the physical academic support and e-content development, the infrastructure. Do you have an e-content development studio, or what facilities you give the staff members to develop this e-content? So that's one point you'll have to concentrate. Then criterion 5, that is student support and progression. So here, the next to the second criteria, 5 carries higher weightage, that is 130. So 130 marks can be easily scored. So here you have mostly contained, this is what is surrounding the students. So what you offer them, how you help them out to progress from your college to the next employment or to higher studies, and what are the students, once they are there in your campus, where they are participating, or their participation in not only in games or cultural events, but also their participation in the management. That is also, there is a question. What is the students they are participating in the different bodies, academic bodies. So whatever committees you have, you can keep a student representative in each committee. So that will be, even in the IQAC, you should have a student representative. So in then you have the alumni engagement, how you are connected with your alumni. That is very, very important. So alumni contribution is another metrics you have, and how much the alumni contributes. The contribution of the alumni may not be in the it should be not only in the form of money. They can contribute in the form of infrastructure. They can give you an LMS application you want to give for the students, that can be contributed by the alumni. So all these, how they decide, they put it in the writing and they give it to you. All these should be documented. So alumni engagement is very, very important. You should have a registered alumni association. So all this comes under student support and progression. So as I told you, the scholarships given to the students, that should be documented. It can be scholarships by the government or even from the non-governmental agencies, or if your institute is offering scholarships, that also can be documented. Then what are the capacity building initiatives you have taken? Like soft skills, what training you give, whether you train them, the final year students, what training you give them, whether you give them training in the soft skills, like facing an interview, or say for competitive exams, what is the roles you do, how you help them to face the competitive exams, or English training you give, and everything you make them to become employable. So next comes the placement. So what training you give here, it will be reflected in the next also, that is placement. So student progression, that will be reflected. In student progression, how the students are progressing from an UG degree to a PG degree, or from a PG degree to a PhD or a research degree, or whether they're going to get employed. So all these will come under student progression. So If you're going to get employed, what's the placement cell? Or you should have a placement cell in your college, and they should be regularly bringing in companies. And every year you should show how many placements you have given for the students, and that should be in your campus. What you're doing to the students. The students, they themselves may be getting placed, that also can be recorded, but what facilitating you have done, what facilitation you have done for the placement. So you should have a separate placement cell who's doing this job. That's what I told you, higher education, how they are progressing to the next level. So supposing going to higher institutes, you can take their ID cards, their call letters, or their roles where they have gone from your institute, they have gone into a research institute, they have gone into IITs, or into any other university. That can be recorded. If you are recording it, you should have documentation for all these. So you should need the registration letter, or the call letters, or they have selection letters from them, or their ID cards there. You can keep them. Then the international exams, we can concentrate only on NETSLET. There is GRE, GMAT, TOEFL. So that arts and science students mostly they don't take. So NETSLET, how many students have passed in the past 5 years, and that can be recorded. So that is also in student progression. That comes under student progression. As I told you, for participation. So the students, how many awards they have won in sports, how many awards they have won in culturals, you should concentrate state and national level, and how many awards they have. Even if it is a group event, you can show, and the number of students in one group, whoever has participated, that should be given. And sports also the same. And students representation in various bodies, as I told you, in your even in our university, in the board of studies, they have included students, and for that we have documentation. So such a student is included in the board of studies. So even otherwise, in the different committees and different academic bodies which we have in the college, you can have representations of the students. So registered, you should have a registered alumni association. So these are the metrics for these are the weightages for these. So you have 20 and 20 marks here. So this is very important. You may have all the students winning awards and certificates, but we may not be documenting them. That is very important. So you send a team to another college. Once the team wins the trophy or wins the certificates, immediately the cultural coordinator or the cultural in charge should take up the responsibility of collecting the certificates and collecting the documentation for such events. Only then for 5 years, you're going to do that. So if you're going to do that at the end of 5 years, it's going to be very tedious, because most of the students will be going out of a college after finishing their third year. So then and there, when you document, you collect the certificates, make a scanned copy, that will be more easier. So alumni, as I told you should have a registered alumni, and the contribution from the alumni is also given 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakhs, and above 5 lakhs. So it should not be, it need not be in the form of money. It can be in the worthy of money if they are contributing something equivalent to that. Criterion 6, you have governance, leadership, and management. So this is entire management of the management and the governance of the entire institution. That will come under this. So the main point here will be the institutional vision and leadership. So vision, mission is very, very important for any institution. I went through your website. I think that vision, mission is lacking there. Even in our websites, we have, for each department, we can have vision and mission. So each department, they can have their own vision, mission that can be given in your website. So you can update your website like that. So vision and mission, according to that, how your institution is moving forward. That is very important. So in line with your vision and mission, how you're working towards getting that goal. So institutional vision and leadership, here everything will come under governance. So you have to concentrate on and leadership. I have given a few points due to lack of time. So organogram is very important. The entire hierarchy of the organization. The principal is the head, the secretary or whoever is the head. Then comes the principal. Then the other managing members, the HODs. Then the managing members of the superintendent office. So that hierarchy of organization, organizational structure, organogram should be given in your website. And what they have to do is you have to articulate, or you have to think about short-term and long-term goals. So short-term, what you're going to achieve, and long-term, what is the perspective plan you have. And sensitizing or popularizing your founder. So your vision of the founder should be known to each and every one, because it's a very old college. The new entry faculty members, even the faculty members and the students may not be aware of the vision of the college, why it was founded, the founder, how he had made efforts to found this college. So you can conduct certain programs or certain competitions on the Founders Day to make the students and the young faculty to be aware of the college vision and college for which it was started. Then decentralizing governance, the governance should not be held up in one hand, it should be decentralized. So the entire process, that the entire governance procedure, all these should be taken into account, and also e-governance. So here also again e-governance comes into place. If you use an LMS system, everything will come under this e-governance. And you have a grievance redressal mechanism. You have a metrics like whether you have a grievance redressal mechanism. If so, what is the grievances of the students or the staff members, and you have whether you have documented the grievances and you have taken action. So documenting the grievances not only enough. You will have to after the documentation of after getting all the grievances, what you have done. So action taken, that is very important. That is also fetching you marks in that. And you can conduct welfare measures for teaching as well as non-teaching. So not only for teaching, you have to conduct for non-teaching also. So here, entire IQAC, internal quality assurance system. It is not a cell, it is a system. The entire internal quality assurance system will be important in doing all these jobs for the entire institution. So you'll have to have a committee which looks into the AQARs. So the AQARs are to be submitted at the end of each year. After every year, you'll have to submit your AQR and the perspective plans, what you have, everything should be taken into account by the IQAC. The minutes of the meeting should be recorded, action taken report. So we have seen a number of action taken for different metrics. All these should be recorded. And you should have to review your reports, best practices. So these are some of the points I have recorded, what the IQAC should do. And so that your system becomes more the institution becomes go to the higher level. So the IQAC is the backbone of any institution. So it advises the principal on different matters, and the principal takes decision, and it helps to carry out different procedures. So IQAC is not going to go and conduct a seminar or a webinar, but it motivates and helps the departments to conduct different programs, and helps them out to and sees to it that they institutionalize the particular program, and the entire institution is doing it. So the IQAC is the it helps the principal, the management, they give suggestions so that it will be carried out by the management and carried out by the governing bodies. So coming to the last criterion 7, that is values, institutional values and best practices. You have only 3 metrics in that, 3 key indicators, only 3 key indicators in that. One is institutional values and social responsibilities, best practices and institutional distinctiveness. Only 3 key indicators, but the score you have is about 100. So this is the last key indicator. Here, if you look at this, you can see it is more of a qualitative metrics. It has a lot of qualitative metrics. So it is about 73 qualitative metrics. So here, best practice and institutional distinctiveness, that is very, very important. So institutional values and social responsibilities, here I have listed out. That is about gender equity, environmental consciousness, you can have a green campus, how you are degrading a biodegradable waste, whether you have a solid waste management, liquid waste management, e-waste management, all these can be recorded here. And the best practice, that is to be written in 1,000 words. So 2 best practices you will have to give. One can be academic, one can be non-academic. So the best practice, you cannot show an infrastructure and show that is the best practice. You cannot, should be a practice which has evolved throughout the months or throughout the years, and which has helped the institution to move forward to going to the next level. That is a best practice. It should be a practice. It cannot be what you have done under any other criteria. You cannot show that as a best practice. You cannot show remedial classes as the best practice, or you conducting an exam for a slow learner or fast. That cannot be shown as best practice. It should be unique. It should pertain to the practice of an institution. It should be continuous process. and it can be academic, at the academic level, it can be at the managerial level, management level, and or it can be in the extension activities also. So anything you can do, you can choose 2 best practices and give it. So that is that I think I'm correct on time. And so I just given, so the entire system is to be helped out for a NAAC going to get a best grade. The management, the students, and the teachers all are involved in the process. So the teachers shoulder more responsibility compared to the others. So we have to put in our best efforts so that our institution goes to the next level. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello. Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Ma'am, it is an hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir?
We can hear you,
Yes,
sir.
yes,
Please go
okay,
ahead.
okay. It is an excellent session, ma'am. It is very useful
Thank you,
for us.
sir. Thank you so much,
Very
sir.
valuable information about NAAC assessment and accreditation. Participants,
Thank you, sir.
if
Thank you so
have-
much.
Thank you, madam. Participants, if you have any clarification, post your questions in the chat box or you can ask directly. I request the participants to ask any questions.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Yes,
Dr.
ma'am.
Priya from Zoology Department. Ma'am, it was wonderful session as you had given the insights regarding the processes of NAAC. So regarding the certificate courses, ma'am, what should be the minimum duration of the certificate course we have to offer to the students? Whether we have to provide the certificate course for every semester or for the year or for the whole, like if a student is in UG. So by the time he finishes UG, he should have a certificate course. So some clarity on this, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. Certificate courses, as I already told you, it should be a minimum of 30 hours, not less than that. It should be basically minimum of 30 hours is needed, only then it will be counted. And for the next question, how many certificate courses you are going to offer, that depends upon your college or your department. So we are offering certificate courses for each semester. So the first year he'll be for the first semester he'll be doing one course. The second semester he'll be doing another course. So or else you can offer one course for the entire year also. That is depending upon you. You choose. At the end of 5 years, it's an average total number of courses. At the end of 5 years, you're going to show in the SSR.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am? Hello?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. Ma'am, related to add-on and certificate courses, I have a few things need to be clarified, ma'am. But while
sir.
we starting the add-on or certificate course, how it has to be started? What is the process of starting the add-on course? Whether do we need to get a permission from the university, or how do this process goes? And the second thing is, some faculty has to concentrate on this add-on course or the certificate course. How do we allot the workload for the faculty members? Then what is the process, ma'am? Can we take the few students from the other colleges also? They can participate in the add-on course. So more related to the process of this certificate or add-on course, we need to have some information, ma'am.
Regarding the process, what we can do is getting a permission from the university if it is possible, or if it is a easier process you can do. Well and good, and the university can give the certificate. But what we have done is going through to our university and getting a permission and then conducting. That's quite a tedious process. So we have designed our own curriculum. So you form a board of studies, like you have the head of the department, your principal, and the other staff members. And you pass the curriculum through this, and you design a curriculum first. You choose the paper you're going to give. what is the certificate course you're going to offer to the students. Number two, you frame the curriculum. You keep it in this, as we are not autonomous, you keep it in the board of studies where the principal and the HOD is represented. And third is you run the course in the after hours only. We do it after the college gets over. And we keep an in-charge person for each department. So the entire staff members, we all take classes. And we divide the 30 hours or whatever we have planned, 30 or 40 hours. We have practical sessions also. You can rope in guest lecturers from outside also. So we had run a course on lab technology, clinical lab technology. So we had requested a clinical lab person to come and demonstrate certain tests like blood sugar tests like that. So you can rope in some technicians or resource persons from outside also. Remaining theoretical part, we all staff members share with each other when we handle. And of course, you need to have one coordinator who conducts the exams and reports and certificates. We IQAC take into the part of the certificate preparing, and we give it as a common model certificate for all the departments. So all the departments run their own courses. And principal gives us a stipulated time within which we can finish our course and conduct our exams.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Then few things I need to get clarified.
Okay.
If you take the 2018 guidelines for the affiliated colleges, there was 121 matrices. Now they have reduced it to 96. So nearly 25 matrices they have removed from the affiliated colleges, and I have seen the new guideline. They give the optional matrices.
Yeah, that's optional matrix is earlier it was 50. So you'll have to score. That's what I had shown. It was 950. If you show score within 950, you'll be getting A++. But now it has reduced to 30. So 50 marks you can leave out, opt out, but now it is only 30. You cannot leave out any of the qualitative metrics. And criteria 1, 2, 7, all these three criteria, you don't have opt-out metrics. All the other criteria only you have opt-out metrics. So that is in the manual. You can see at the back of the manual, you can have in each criteria, what are the questions which is coming under opt-out metrics will be given. So you can choose only those opt-out metrics, not all the metrics. What they have mentioned only you can choose, and 1, 2, and 7 cannot be opted out.
Okay, ma'am. Then another thing, ma'am. This NAAC guidelines required information from various stakeholders, ma'am, like alumni, students, parents, teachers. While we are collecting the documented information, it seems to be very difficult, ma'am. So, is there any methodology like how to distribute the things to get the proper information? Is there any?
For the alumni, what we do is when they come for graduation. When the students come for graduation, we give them the feedback forms, and we can collect. Even otherwise, you can collect it from the supposing now it's an online feedback form only we have done for this this year. So you can put it in that group. Many of our people are having the WhatsApp group. So you have different groups for the students. You can just post it there and you can get the responses. That can be done. For the parents also, you can have the parent teachers meet you have for each semester. Supposing you're contacting the parents, that time you can get it from them. For the employers, you'll have to find out we get data from the placement cell. So from where they are employed, you can get the data, and you can contact the employers by mail, and you can ask them to respond.
Okay, ma'am.
So you can benchmark yourself. You can have this many responses. It's need not that you need to get the alumni. Supposing 1,200 students are graduating, you need not get the responses from all the 1,200 students. It can be about 50% or 40%. That's it.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, one more thing, ma'am. While we are producing the documentary evidences, like what are the types of evidences can we give it, ma'am? Like photos, newspaper cuttings, posters,
Yeah, anything can be given depending upon the metrics, depending upon what your metrics which you are addressing to, your documentation should be.
Okay. Well, because some of our faculty members they go for board of studies, but well, if this is in the conducted in the holidays, they may not apply for OD and get the attendance certificate. So in that case, then how they produce evidence, ma'am?
For board of studies, usually you get letters from the university calling up for this is the such a date the board of studies is going to be conducted. So that communication, even if it is in a WhatsApp message, you will have to take a printout and keep it. So board of studies will not be a problem. What we believe be a problem is that evaluation. When teachers go for evaluation, it may be in a holiday, and so they may not be getting OD. So in that case, you can see if you in the website you have the examiner list that can be taken and that can be given. For the practical examination, you get letters from the university appointing you as a practical examiner to go into this college or that college. So that letters can be documented. That has to be kept by the professors. That has to be filed up by the professors, so that when the IQAC asks, you have to get it from them. That has to be maintained. That is a big problem. That has to be maintained.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Kind, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
Very kind of you. Radhika, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
I am classmate of Dr. Prince. Dr.
Oh.
Okay.
Very... Prince sir is there. Prince sir is here only.
Yes. Thank you. Very kind of you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
We will be calling you for our meeting.
Okay. Which college, ma'am?
I am from Sharda College, Salem.
Okay.
I want to make you as a resource person for us. Thank you. Very
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So we have a question in the chat box. Does every document produced for last 5 years must carry sign and data for validation? Need not necessarily be. You need not have a signature for all the documents. That is not quite going to be impossible. But whatever evidences which, supposing you're not having any evidence, you're getting a letter from the principal that such and such a person is had gone for such a meeting, or such student has won this event or like that. That should be documented with the signature of the principal in the principal's letterhead. Not all documentation need not get the signature.
Any other questions? Sivamurugan?
Sir?
Close Priyama?
Yes, sir. There are no questions, sir.
No question. Okay. I request Dr. Sivamurugan, Assistant Professor of Chemistry and a co-convener of this webinar, to summarize and give the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, madam. First of all, I'd like to give a summary of the webinar. First of all, I would like to thank our Professor Radhika madam. Very nicely delivered the contents in a lucid manner. She delivered various. She nicely explained the various major criteria and key quality indicators framed by the NAAC. In addition, she briefly explained the guidelines on the qualitative and quantitative matrices set by the NAAC for the assessment of higher educational institutions. So, most importantly, she emphasized the importance of understanding the data, document and evidence that is required for the smooth submission of self-study report or the SSR in the NAAC online portal. Apart from this, we have clearly understood the various process involved in the NAAC online submission. we strongly believe that the lecture was very informative and useful to the IQAC coordinators, faculty members and administrative staff, and those who are actively involved in the preparation of self-study report for the NAAC assessment and accreditation. So then if we come to the participation of various faculty members, IQAC coordinators from our own college as well as the other colleges from the various districts of Tamil Nadu and other states of India, they have actively participated. We have received nearly 300 registrations, though it is posted posted in a short period. We have received nearly 300 registrations, and nearly 50 participants watched in the YouTube, and 120 participants viewed through Zoom platform. So with this summary, we come to the end of the session. I'd like to propose vote of thanks to the members and the team, those who greatly contributed to the success of the program. So first of all, I'd like to thank Professor R. Sri Jayanti ma'am, Principal in Charge, Pachaiyappa College, Chennai, for her continuous support and encouragement. And our today's speaker, Professor D. Radhika ma'am, Head and Associate Professor of Zoology and Assistant Coordinator of IQAC, VO Chidambaram College, Thoothukudi, for readily accepting our invitation and delivered the lecture in a lucid manner with a great emphasis on the importance of new NAAC guidelines. And then I would also like to thank Professor Murugesan, Associate Professor, Deputy Head of Botany, Pachaiyappa College, Chennai, for taking this valuable initiative to identify the right expert and organize the program in a successful manner. And also record my sincere thanks to all the IQAC members, heads of the departments, admin coordinators, other faculty members of all the departments, administrative staff of our college and other college for their active participation in the webinar and made this event very successful. I am very much happy to thank Dr. Kotiswari, Assistant Professor of Botany, Pachaiyappa College, for providing Zoom facility to conduct this webinar smoothly. Finally, on behalf of the organizing team, I recorded my heartfelt thanks to all the participants from our Pachaiyappa Trust colleges and other colleges, universities and institutions from Chennai and other districts and other states of India for their active participation in the webinar. We do expect the similar enthusiastic participation in the events organized by our institution in future. I take this opportunity to thank everyone who has supported us, and thank you one and all. Have a great evening. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Participants, we have posted the feedback link. Please fill in the feedback link without any typographical errors.
போல.
முருகேசன் சார்.
எஸ் சார், எஸ் சார்.
சார் ஒரு 2-3 மினிட்ஸ் நம்ம இது பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் மீட்டிங் எண்ட் பண்ணிடலாம் சார். அவங்க
ஓகே 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 சார்.
ஃபீட்பேக் லிங்க் ஆமா ஓகே
போட்டாச்சு சார். ரெண்டுலயும் போட்டேன். Zoomலயும் போட்டாச்சு, YouTube போட்டாச்சு. ஓகே
ஓகே. தேங்க் யூ சார்.
தேங்க் யூ சார்.